Hey guys, Sean here, and today I'm going to be talking about having a silver stacking exit strategy and what I'm really going to do at the end of the day with my silver stack. Now, I believe that all of us are investing in silver for multiple different reasons. Some of us want to protect our wealth, some of us just want to continually save in silver, and perhaps we even believe that silver is coming back as a form of money. However, for myself, I take a bit more of a measured approach and I see silver more as a valuable investment, something that I can earn money from, something that can deliver profit to me, which I can then channel into another investment class. So for me guys, silver is both an investment and insurance in my opinion, but I do believe that it won't really necessarily come back as a form of money, right? So right now, we all know that we are living in a world of fiat currencies. Governments right now are printing money. They are coming out with their own central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and we are so far into the new realm of existence of money that I don't think that silver itself will come back per se as money. Sure, you'll be able to barter and buy things together with silver for an exchange. Perhaps you can find someone who's willing to sell some of their goods and services directly for silver, or maybe in some more extreme cases, someone might be able to, exchange their car for your silver. But in the grand scheme of things, right, I don't really think we are coming back into a world where silver is really going to be, circulated around as money. However, for me, silver is an investment that at the end of the day, it's something that I will be trading it off for stocks, real estate, or any other income producing asset. And that is why I would like to touch a bit on the pros and cons of silver, right? So silver is both a monetary metal. From its historical value over the last thousands of years, silver was traded around as money, was freely used as money as well as silver coins, all the way from ancient China all the way to ancient Rome. The denaries was used as money and it was made up of silver. And as well as silver is an industrial metal where it is critical for manufacturing new green technologies such as solar panels and electric vehicles. It's a key component, and that's what gives it its great growth potential, right? So when it comes to my approach for silver investing and stacking, as you can see, I have 500 ounces over here, and I am going to hold it more or less for a very long time to come as an insurance, right? It's really here for when all hell breaks loose scenario, and we're talking about runaway inflation, the complete breakdown of society, and suddenly people don't trust money at all. Inflation is going rampant and people rather exchange their money for hard assets. But I do believe that the chances are very low. Governments around the world, they'll try their best to protect their own fiat currencies, and they won't really outlaw the bartering of silver, but they won't promote it either, right? They definitely won't want to shine the spotlight on an asset that really holds its value like gold or silver. Now, for the rest of my ounces, they will be sold when the time comes and put into most probably dividend paying stocks, real estate, or other markets such as agriculture ETFs, right? Buying farmland, investing into corn, wheat, more or less tangible assets that we all need to live comfortably. So I want to share with you all 3 indicators that I'm personally looking out for when determining whether it's time to sell. And when I track these indicators, it's mainly because we all like to fixate a lot about the price of silver, whether the price is $30, whether the price is $50, or whether the price is $100. But it's gonna be pretty useless if we just use the numerical price of silver to determine when to sell, right? If everything else is going up in price, property is going up in price, food is going up in price, how do we know whether it is a good time to sell silver when everything is becoming more expensive, right? So the first chart I want to share with you all that I'm keenly tracking on is the Dow to silver ratio, right? So it's basically how many ounces of silver can one share of the Dow Jones buy? So the Dow Jones, if you're unaware, is just basically a consolidation of all the top 30 or 40 US companies which are the most valuable. They just track it into a single index, and you can buy it with your stockbroker if you want to, which is called the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? So in this chart, it just simply means that if the price of the Dow to silver ratio is high, it just means that the Dow Jones is more overpriced as compared to silver. And when the Dow to silver ratio drops, it just means that you can buy more Dow Jones shares with lesser ounces of silver, right? So silver, one thing that we do have to remember, that it is a non-income producing asset, right? It is not a company. You just buy silver, you put it away under your bed, in a safe, in a third-party vault, whatever, and the only way you can make money from it is through capital gains. However, when it comes to stocks, right, there are two ways you can make money from it, right? Obviously, the first thing is capital gains. When the price of the stock goes up, you can definitely sell it for profits. However, on the other hand, there's also dividends. Every time the company makes money, they might declare a dividend, and that is a form of income, right? So I am really tracking this chart, the Dow to silver ratio, and as you can see, right, historically, back in 2010 over here, you can see the Dow to silver ratio is around maybe 300, 350. So that means one share of Dow Jones could buy you at that point of time 350 ounces of silver. Now, that doesn't mean that I believe that we are going to go back down there historically, but I personally am looking keenly at the levels of 1,800, right? Right now, there's a lot of money being printed around. Everything's getting inflated to quite a high degree. So I think that perhaps, at least in my own opinion, we have to take things a bit more prudent, and I don't think we are really going to overshoot to the level where Dow Jones is extremely undervalued as compared to silver, right? Now, the second chart I want to go through is the US house price to the silver ratio. Now, same thing. This basically means that how many ounces of silver you need to buy for current house. Now, this chart is quite interesting in a sense that there was a time long time ago, maybe in 2005, it takes around 50,000 ounces of silver to buy average median home in the United States. But right now, we are more or less reaching the lows, where it takes now around 17,000 ounces of silver to buy a median house in the USA, and the lowest we could see is around 5,000 during the 2011 period, when silver really flew up to $50 or more. So this is something that is also very trackable, in my opinion, something that I'm keeping an eagle's eye lookout for, because housing prices, at the end of the day, over a long period of time, it will go up. I mean, there's going to be crashes, there's going to be booms and busts, but property prices is one of the indicators of how healthy our economy is, right? And if there is a chance, I would say that exchanging your physical metals for some place that you could live, or some place that can rent out for income, is going to be quite a good opportunity to really get an income producing asset, right? And the next chart I want to go through is essentially the price action of silver, guys. So we all know that anything that rises exponentially too fast will not last. So you can just take a look at some of the charts, such as the Bitcoin, the great Bitcoin rise from around, I think it was around $20,000 all the way to around $50,000 or $60,000. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really that into the crypto market, but you could see that there's such a big spike that at the end of the day, it is not really sustainable, and there could be a sudden crash back down to earth. And we could also see this in other markets, such as the Nasdaq bubble, during the 1999 to 2000 and one during that period of the dot-com bubbles where every single tech company out there more or less was quite overpriced and everyone began to pound on their money into it. And after that, there was quite a bit of a crash and a bit of a zombie period after that for the next few months and years when it came to the stock market at that point of time, right? And the same thing actually happened to silver back in 2009 all the way to 2011 and early 2012, right? You know, silver rose all the way from around $9 to $11, flew all the way up above $40, and then it crashed back down to earth around at $15 to $18 for quite a long time. And this is one thing that I believe that we all should keep in mind, that silver is a commodity, it is an investment, but if the price of silver suddenly goes up, I don't think that it is something that we should just continue riding the price and really cross our fingers and hope that it'll reach $100 or $200 now within the next few months. Chances are, I mean, it could technically reach that level, but as history has pointed out, you know, all the various bubbles in the world, when there's always a period of euphoria, the price of silver will come crashing down. So if I see, you know, a chart of silver that has this same pattern over here that you can see, I'll be very wary and I might be quite inclined to sell off quite a bit of my stack to make sure that I don't really lose a lot, or at least I will be able to run away with some profits, right? I mean, if the price of silver suddenly crashes in the future, I can always go back in and buy if I really feel that there's potential for it to continue growing in the future. I want to get back to the idea of why I still choose to hold at least 500 physical ounces, right? So this is more for barterability if the paper prices really collapses and if there's really a big decoupling of the paper silver prices to physical. So we all know right now that, you know, the paper market compared to silver is like 100 times bigger, right? And that means that if the physical demand for silver really, you know, shoots through the roof, maybe it's for the new Green Deal, if you're moving more towards sustainable technologies, in this case the physical price of silver might really decouple with the paper prices, and that means the premiums on the physical should skyrocket technically. And if I hold on to some physical ounces, in this case 500 ounces, allows me to gain more profit from that avenue. Will that avenue happen? Who knows, you know? I mean, from what I see, I don't think it is going to be very likely anytime soon, but it's definitely an option that could happen, right? I kind of view silver more as a rational investment. I'm not really one of those basement stackers that, you know, I stack silver together with food and all kinds of canned beans and packets of rice stacked onto the shelves. I don't really do that. I mean, I believe that at the end of the day, there's going to be a happy medium within society itself. And fortunately and unfortunately, there will come a time where I have to let the majority of my stack grow, right? To me, it's all about growth, investment growth, and in my opinion, it's going to be risky to go all in on any one investment. The biggest risk to me is not having my entire net worth stuck in just one asset class. I mean, it's definitely a big risk, but when the time comes for me to sell it, because everything is in one single asset class, I might get really paralyzed. I might not be able to pull the trigger when it comes time to sell it, especially even if the price suddenly skyrockets. I might think that, you know, a lot of my net worth in this is in it. Why don't I just wait for it to double or triple before I sell it, right? And I think that's a very dangerous kind of thinking to have. So because of this, right, the majority of my stack, at least for the bars that I'm going to sell at the end of the day, they're going to be bigger bars, such as 100 ounce bars, and these are quite heavy bars. They are around 6.8 pounds or 3.2 kg each of them, and I kind of prefer it because the physical premiums are just like 5 to 7%, and if you're lucky, sometimes you'll be able to get them near spot. However, for these coins, right, they have premiums of anywhere between 15 to 20% depending on whether you're stacking, you know, like silver maples, UK Britannias, or God forbid silver eagles. These coins, more or less, they're going to be part of my 500-ounce physical stack that I won't really be selling off anytime soon unless there's a complete meltdown in society. And going forward as well, I will be allocating more funds into silver ETFs such as the PSLV to really increase my holdings without paying much of the silver premium. Now, the annual management fee is around 0.62% annually, which is much lower than even a 100-ounce bar, which has more or less a silver premium of around 6% or so. And that is what I'm going to do with my silver exit strategy. I love silver, but I come to the table with a bit more of a pragmatic approach, and I believe that right now the case of silver is still strong, but there will come a point of time where there could be other asset classes that we should really detach our emotions from silver and take a look at those asset classes a bit more closely, but the time isn't now in my opinion. So there you have it, guys. This is what I'm gonna do with my silver stack and my silver exit strategy. And if you have any questions or opinions, let me know in the comments below, guys. Really love to hear from you all. And if there's any other strategies that you have, are you maybe stacking for years or decades to come? Are you really going to leave maybe a 1,000-ounce or 2,000-ounce stack to your descendants, the next generations? Let me know. I really want to hear different opinions on this matter. And if you really enjoyed today's video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more gold and silver videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.